Hi, it's Cindy Novotny with your Monday Mentor Moment. And today, sticking with being mindful, I'm going to talk about taking more time and being mindful by listening better. I think as you get older, you start to really realize the power of listening and not talking. When I was younger, I would interrupt people constantly. I would be in big meetings with our whole executive team, and a director of food and beverage or a GM would say something that was utterly ridiculous. And I would say, wait a minute, I totally disagree with that. And then it would start a whole kind of sidebar conversation that actually didn't go anywhere, and there was no real good results of that. As I continued to grow, because we all grow up, I learned that my passion could be much better if I would focus that passion. So I started taking notes in the meetings. So when someone would bring something up that was totally and utterly ridiculous, instead of me just blurting out what I thought or throwing my 2 cents in, I was taking notes and I would circle anything I wanted to come back to. I always had their initials by it so I wouldn't forget that, wow, Paul, you're the one that said it. Okay, Jim, I'll come back to you in a minute. I found that by doing that, first of all, I was more present in the meeting, way more present in the meeting, because I was actually taking notes. I wasn't the assistant taking notes for the minutes. I simply was taking notes so that I could focus on what people were talking about. Then when it became my time, I would simply look at my notes and say, so anyway, Paul, you brought up A, B, and C, and I'd like to kind of challenge you on that. I think that, and it was calm, it was well said, really well received, and then I put other people on the spot. You see, as we get older, we understand the real benefits of 2 ears, 1 mouth. My mother said that to me forever, and I really never paid attention to it till it was really important. The other thing is that I also think that time is wasted because we don't listen. We don't prioritize. We don't pay attention to what's important. When people ask us to do something, we just like, okay. We don't say, wait a minute, I've got these 5 things to do. When can I do that? I've talked in many of the sessions when I do training and speeches and lectures about swallowing the big frog first. And I had a professor once say to me, I want you to really picture 4 frogs, like toads, frogs. And I want you to picture a really massive big one, and then 3 other little ones. And I tell you in this science class, you're going to have to swallow all 4. Which one will you start with? And of course, all of us went to the little ones. He said, wow, you're making a huge mistake, because by the time you swallow those 3 frogs, you're going to be so sick. You're going to look at that big toad and think, are you kidding? Well, that is procrastination at its finest. Most of us hold back on the toughest call we have to make. The issue, the stomachache call, the sending the email to a client, the family call where there might be issues in your family and, I'll just wait till after lunch. That's got to be the first call. That's got to be the first email. Tackle the big frog first. Tackle the big issues. When you do that, the rest just go down nicely the rest of the day. And it makes things much, much clearer. Now, the other thing about taking time and really listening is that it allows you to be curious. See, I hear things all day long that I have no idea what anybody's talking about. And instead of just going, I don't care, I don't know what they're talking about, I ask questions. You can ask anyone on my team. I will hear Shelly and Carla from my team having a chat, and I can't even hear it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Now, you might call that nosy. I call it curious. Because it's always something about work or something in current events or something that's going on. Now, I do it different. I kind of call everybody together. I've got some news. I want to share trends. But that's just who I am, because I have that bit of a mouth. But when I hear people on my team bringing things up that I don't understand or get, even if it doesn't involve me, I might just say, like, what is it? Now, it's not like I put my 2 cents in and start telling them what to do, but I like to be curious. And when you're curious, because you're listening more, it makes you much more valuable. See, those that are the know-it-alls, those that think they've done it all before, that are not open to new ideas, will not be the ones taking us into the future. And I can assure you, we are not living in a time where being a know-it-all counts anymore, because you don't have all the answers, and neither do I. So listen, be curious, swallow that big frog first, and I'll see you next time.